First and foremost, before we get started, I like to give all praises and honor and glory to Yahweh, by Hashem, Yahweh Shai, by Hashem, Rekah Kwadash, and double honors to those green millstone, while unto his truth, and also to those elect that is scattered abroad. I like to say, Shalom. Come back here today with another great and powerful lesson, the spirit and the power of Yahweh, by Hashem, Yahweh Shai. And the title of today's lesson is Evils Growing. So I like to say Shalom to all our listeners and learners. Hope to sweep you today and guide you back in the path of righteousness and back to your true power, which in fact is Yahweh, by Hashem, Yahweh Shai. So before we start today's lesson, I have a quick news article here by News Nation. And it reads, it said 2 people unalived by IED cartel suspected, officials say. Let's get a little bit more of these details. It said Mexican authorities have issued warnings about the cartel activity. Said a 74-year-old rancher was killed and his wife was injured. Said 3 people were in a vehicle that drove over an IED, officials say. It says here, it said White House declares cartels as terror organization. It said Morning in America. It's on this news broadcast. That's just going to read this first part, then we're going to get this news video clip. It says here, News Nation, a 74-year-old Texas rancher and 1 other person were unalive, and a 3rd person was injured by what authority said was an improvised explosive device planted by a cartel close to the U.S.-Mexican border. So we see it right here that things are constantly heating up on the on the U.S. and Mexican border. We already know that they have a massive military presence down there. We already know that the president of Mexico, she already had issued 10,000 troops to go to the Mexican and U.S. border. And also now we know that DJ Donald Trump has sent I think it was 5,000, maybe more than that, Marines down there on the border. So we're seeing that these things can escalate at any given time. So we already knowing that it's already rumors that that America is going to retaliate because of this rancher. You know, I think they said he was unalived on the Mexican side of the border. So, you know, he said he had property on both sides, you know. So this man here, let's get a little bit more, said the rancher died near Brownsville, Texas, but was unalive on the Mexican side of the border. You know what I'm saying? So we seeing right here that, you know, these things right here is going to constantly pick up. So it's already rumors that the cartel had gotten a green light to use their drone, these drones that are already weaponized. Also, these IEDs are these improvised explosive devices. So, you know, these devices could be, you know, come in many different sizes, you know what I'm saying? Very compact, you know, a suitcase bomb, you know, all different type of scenario that they can come in and do all sorts of some type of attack, some type of bombing, you know. So right now, this is setting the stage for what? For civil war, you know. So we already knowing that war is coming to in our own backyard. We already seen the movie Leave the World Behind. This other movie, Civil War. So these things are fastly approaching. You know, we seeing it happening right before our eyes. And one thing about it, these things gonna constantly pick up. That's why I titled today's lesson, Evils Are Growing. So we're living in a very ill time, a very perilous time, a very bad time, and they're gonna constantly get worse and worse as these prophets are constantly speaking loud and clear. And also the men of the Lord, we're constantly warning you left and right. And out about 2025 is very prophetic, and these things are not going to slack down for a moment. So now let's get a little bit of this news broadcast right quick.
A fine or even jail time over it. The Trump administration is now asking anybody 14 and older and here illegally to provide their name, address, fingerprints to Homeland Security. Officials say they'll be given a form they must keep on them at all times. DHS leader Kristi Noem says they'll be able to avoid criminal charges and will be helped with relocating to their home country with the chance of returning back to the United States. And authorities down in Texas have a warning this morning about possible attacks by cartels on Americans. Police say a 74-year-old rancher was killed after driving over an IED, likely dropped by a cartel near Brownsville, Texas. That news coming just after the White House named these criminal groups as foreign terrorist organizations. And now there are fears the cartels could start targeting Americans. News Nation's Xavier Walton has more from Texas this morning. So, Xavier, what do these designations help accomplish? And also, what's the risk?
Marky, good morning. Well, you just laid out one of those risks, albeit rare, not unheard of, so to speak. And as far as that new designation, I mean, at the end of the day, what it really does is it broadens U.S. agencies' authority to really disrupt cartel finances as well as operations. But on the flip side, security experts warn, if these criminal groups feel cornered, so to speak, they could lash out, potentially targeting Americans at home or abroad. And you just talked about this. Unfortunately, we may already be seeing signs of that with the death of a Texas rancher, Antonio Cespedes Saldierna, who was killed on the Mexican side of the border when his vehicle struck an explosive device. Texas Agriculture Commissioner Sid Miller calls the IED blast part of a growing threat and urges people in the region to exercise extreme caution, avoiding remote roads and reporting suspicious activity. Experts say cartels value secrecy, but the increased pressure from the U.S. and Mexico could spark more violence. Here's global security expert Michael Ballard.
Those groups, they don't really want to draw the attention of the U.S. law enforcement arm of the DEA, ATF, FBI. But if all of this attention is now focused on them due to the foreign terrorist organization designation, they may feel like we don't have much else to lose here.
So feeling like they have nothing to lose, if their finances or leadership of the cartels are disrupted, cartels might just retaliate by targeting Americans or their businesses in popular hotspots across the border.
Yeah, and Xavier, you think about traveling there. I mean, we know spring break is just a few weeks away now. Mexico's a top destination. Did travelers have to worry or even change their plans because of this?
Marky, not necessarily change plans, but certainly always some concern, should always have a level of awareness. And in this case, a heightened level of awareness. At least that's what travel experts are saying. Cartels usually do keep a low profile, so to speak, at popular resort areas. But if you're revisiting or visiting places with known cartel activity, like parts of Guadalajara, it's smart to be extra vigilant and maybe thinking about adding security. But if you're going to a place, you're doing maybe an all-inclusive, you should be good, but don't go to those areas that probably aren't safe. And always remain vigilant, Marky, especially with spring break right around the corner.
Yeah, we hear you loud and clear. All right, Xavier Walton, thank you so much for that update this morning. Healthcare.
So we see right now, at the end, he said, that always be vigilant. So let's look up this word before we get into some more videos and some more scripts. Let's look up this what is IED. So it says here, what is it? And improvised explosive device, IED. It said attack is the use of a homemade bomb or destructive device to destroy, incapacitate, harass, or distract. So IEDs are used by criminals, vandals, terrorists, suicide bombers, and insurgents. So let's get a little bit more. Let's see what the military term of it says. Let's get a little bit deeper here. It says what does the IED stand for in the army or the military? It says here, an improvised explosive device, IED, is a type of unconventional explosive weapon that can take any form and be activated in a variety of ways. They target soldiers and civilians alike. So that man, he was a civilian. So any, they could put it in, like they did, this man drove over it, just like a mine, and it exploded, or they can put it somewhere, what I'm saying, in like a suitcase or some type of compact, like a pipe bombs, different things like that, so they can, pretty much show up at any different gathering, like they were saying about spring break is coming up, all sorts, a lot of these different festivals right down here Washington. We know, and right now we have a lot of different festivals. Mardi Gras right now is going on, already knowing that I think the biggest, the last part of it is Fat Tuesday. I think that's next Tuesday, so we got to wait and see. We already know what happened on Bourbon Street. A lot of these things on constantly happening. So there's already was warnings of cyber attack, terrorist attack. So one thing about it, it could be a black swan event. So right now this is setting the stage. We're going to measure the time diligently to see how this is going to unfold. But one thing about it, we're not ignorant of Satan devices. So right now we're seeing a very massive military builder right here in our own backyard. While you're sleeping, the devil is constantly getting busy. So now let's get a quick precept. Let's go here to Ephesians chapter 5 and verse 15. It says, see then that ye walk circumspectly, not as fools, but as wise. So, what I'm saying? When you go in that word circumspect, circle mean to what? Round. Spec mean to look around, see what's going on all around you, because one thing about it, we live in this very, very evil times, some perilous times, some bad times. They're coming upon us at a fast pace, and we are constantly warning you left and right. You must be wise in these times that are coming upon us. And one thing about it, the only one that will be wise is the elect, the true believers of Yahweh, Ba'ashem, Yahweh Shai. Verse 16 said, redeeming the time because the days of evil. And the one thing about it, reading NLT, it said, make the most of every opportunity in these evil days. So one thing about it, you got to live these days just like, you got to live very, very carefully. What I'm saying? One thing about it, take every opportunity, seek the Lord now while he can be found. Because one thing about it, when all this hell break loose, what I'm saying, you're going to have a very, very, you're going to be just bugged out of your mind. We put it like that. So let's read this once again. It says, redeeming the time because the days are evil. What I'm saying? One thing about it, be very careful, take every day like it's your last. What I'm saying? You got to be walk accordingly. We got to be, keep our eyes single. What I'm saying? Keep our eyes on that prize, which in fact is the kingdom of heaven that dwells in righteousness. Let's read in the NLT, verse 16 said, make the most of every opportunity, in these evil days. What I'm saying? One thing about it, we already know Jacob's trouble is fast approaching, the hour of temptation, MOTB, and also we know about World War III. All hell is getting ready to break loose. Redeem the times. Because one thing about it, that we knowing that these is getting very, very dark and perilous. What I'm saying? It's getting there. What I'm saying? A lot of people right now are beginning to see. A lot of people are beginning to say something is happening. So we already know about DJ Donald Trump is constantly dismantling the government right before our, and also constantly slowly taking your rights away from you, and they get ready to make you a petrol slave to put that, inside of you. You understand what I'm saying? Verse 17 said, wherefore be ye not unwise, but understanding what the will of the Lord is. Let's read in NLT. It said, don't act thoughtlessly. Said, but understand what the Lord wants you to do. Lean not on your own understanding, but trust and believe in Yahweh, Ba'ashem, Yahweh Shai. He will direct your steps in these times, these evil times of trouble that is fast approaching us. So we seeing right now that this border crisis, also this deportation, all these things are constantly happening at a fast pace. So war is upon us. The war drums are beating in the middle, Lord. We're constantly warning you left and right. So now let's start today's video. And after the video, we will start the lesson. And I hope that you will get edified.
Got our hands on a memo out of the Rio Grande Valley sector that actually says that this is kind of crazy here, that the cartels authorize the use of weaponized drones, explosives against CBP personnel and U.S. law enforcement down there at the southern border. Now, they're actually being encouraged, of course, to remain cognizant and vigilant, but they're also being encouraged to use their long arms, Blake. I have never seen this in a CBP memo before. They say, wear your ballistic gear, yes. yes, but they're telling them, hey, have your long arms. Yes, they are saying, watch out for these weaponized drones. We've seen a lot of infighting with two different factions of the cartel down in Tamaulipas, that is on the south side of the border in the Rio Grande Valley, and they have like an all-out war happening between these cartel factions. So they are warning now that they might be using these weaponized drones against U.S. personnel on this side. So definitely cause for concern there.
So we got some intel that the cartels on our southern border have given the green light to attack Border Patrol agents, Army soldiers that are on the border, U.S. Marines that are on the border. Apparently they've given the green light to shoot at them or drop drones, like IED drones on the personnel that's on the southern border. Someone needs to talk to these fucking cartel leaders and tell them they have lost their fucking mind. Pete Hegseth was at the border with Tom Holman and told the guys at the border, hey, I got you guys' back. The rules of engagement aren't the same as when Biden was in office. If these guys shoot at you, you guys are fucking green light, good to go get some, right? Imagine being a young Marine, fucking fully loaded, chiseled, ready to go, goddamn fucking combat warrior. Woo! Imagine being a goddamn devil dog, right? Getting the green light to go get some with the fucking cartel members. And cartel guys, someone needs to fucking talk to these cartel guys. They have lost their mind. If the U.S. military, specifically the fucking Marines at the southern border that are fucking loaded, like if they're going to combat, right? They send them with a full combat load to the port, right, to the border. You're not fighting citizens that don't have guns like in Mexico. You're not gonna intimidate no fucking Marines at the border just because you're shooting at them. Someone needs to tell these fucking cartel guys, dude. Imagine if you shoot not only the equipment, the fucking technology, the weaponry that we have, right? But you're talking about fucking taking pop shots at Marines or dropping fucking drones. They're gonna fuck you up. These guys are the world's best fighting force. All they fucking do is train. They're in the field. I was in the Marines. I was in the fucking field every week, training my ass off, fucking eating MREs, shitting out in the desert. You know, covering my own shit up, not showering for fucking days at a time, sometimes weeks at a time. These guys don't fuck around. Go and drop a drone. Or go and take some pop shots at some fucking Marines. See if they don't jump the fucking fence. Go chase your ass down.
So we see, we have to see that's enough of that video, but we're seeing right now, the stage is set, all things are ready. So right now we're seeing at any given time, it just could pop off, all hell could break loose. So now we'll start today's lesson. We'll start here. Just a few scriptures I'm going to bring out, then we're going to close out. And once again, I hope that you will get edified. Let's go here and start off in Isaiah chapter 19 and verse 2, one of my favorite scriptures. It says here, I will set the Egyptian against the Egyptian, and they shall fight everyone against his brother and everyone against his neighbor, city against city and kingdom against kingdom. So that's exactly what we're seeing. So we know in the modern day Egyptians are what the Americans, we seeing right now that, a lot of things are going on right here in our own backyard that, a lot of people are not trusting the government. They're not trusting this president-elect, Donald Trump. He constantly dismantling the government, taking all your rights away from you, all your government assistance. A lot of these things getting ready to happen. I think today, yesterday that they passed 800 billion, I think it was 800 million or 800 billion bill to cut Medicare and all these different assistance like food stamps, Section 8, Social Security. A lot of these things right now, he's constantly breaking this place down brick by brick, but it's all through what? Spirit and the power of Yahweh Shema Shai. So we already know that civil war is coming. It's inedible. We already know we're going to have race riots, race wars. A lot of things are coming, protesting, rioting, all sorts of chaos, all sorts of killing, robbing, stealing, graping, Salakia. These things are getting ready to come upon us at a fast pace. We're constantly warning you left and right. Let's read this once again. It says, Isaiah chapter 19 and verse 2. It said, and I will set the Egyptian against the Egyptian, American against America, and they shall fight everyone against his brother, and everyone against his neighbor, city against city, and kingdom against kingdom. So we're seeing that things right there could escalate on the Mexican and the U.S. border, also on the Canada and the U.S. border. These things are constantly picking up. We're seeing right now that these nations right now are pretty much, these nations are angry. You know what I'm saying? They're plotting. You know what I'm saying? One thing against what America. So we constantly seeing that they're talking about peace over there with Ukraine. But when they say peace and safety, then total destruction will come upon it. City against city, kingdom against kingdom. So it's going to be all out or anarchy. A lot of things to get ready to happen. The movie The Purge, look at that movie. A lot of things that happen. And also it already had a movie kind of similar to, like, they're talking about going into Mexico, like a Red Dawn event. Could be a Black Swan event, cyber attacks, terrorist attack, these bomb threats, and all these different things that constantly happen, event after event. In the middle of the Lord, we're constantly warning you, left and right, it is here, it is at the door, it's right before our eyes. You know what I'm saying? One thing about it, we got to be prayed up. Wisdom and knowledge shall be the stability of the time. When you go into that word, stability goes into your faith. Your faith is getting ready to be tried. Let's go here to Jeremiah chapter 51, and we'll start up at verse 4. Verse 6, Salakia. And it reads that, flee out of the midst of Babylon and deliver every man his soul. Said, be not cut off in her iniquity, for this is the time of the Lord's vengeance, and he will render unto her a recompense. Or when you go to that word recompense, the Lord is getting ready to repay. And one thing about it, how do you flee out of the midst of Babylon, which in fact Babylon is America. You know what I'm saying? Babylon the Great is America. So one thing about how do you flee out of this place? Spiritually, you know what I'm saying? This gospel, this wisdom and knowledge, it shall be a stronghold in times of trouble. So one thing about it, that we're very close to the Lord's vengeance. The Lord's getting ready to judge this place. The eyes of the Lord is upon that sinful kingdom, which in fact is America, Babylon the Great. Verse 7 said, Babylon has been a golden cup in the Lord's hand, and that made all the earth drunken. The nations have drunken of her wine, therefore the nations are mad. So one thing about it, we already know that, that golden cup, which in fact is America. This place is constantly circling the drain, and all nation has been influenced by the whore, had drunken the wines, the philosophy, this influence, like this do thy will spirit. One thing about a lot of people wanted to come to America and become rich, but now they see that America, is constantly declining, and also, they constantly push all sorts of sexual immorality. A lot of these things happen. Everyone has drunken of that wine, but now the nations are mad. They mad off it. They drunk. But one thing about it now, they're waking up. They're fleeing their asses up out of here. Now they're getting away from this place. Now they finding out who is the devil that the Bible speaks of. So right now, so the nations are mad, so they, that now they seeing that, they had lived deliciously off the whore, the delicacies of the whore, the influence, the democracy, their policies, and these things right now, they seeing right now, a lot of people, they, seeing that America is the problem, which in fact, the number one problem is the so-called white man, the devil that the Bible speaks of. And the Lord's getting ready to remove him very soon. Verse 8, it said, Babylon is suddenly fallen and destroy. Howl for her, take balm for her pain, if so be she may be healed. But this place is getting ready to go down, and the blaze of glory will not be healed. Nothing will stop it from destruction. This place already been prophesied to be totally destroyed. Verse 9 say, we would have healed Babylon, but she is not here. Forsake her and let us go, everyone unto his own country, for her judgment reaches into heavens and is lifted up even to the sky. So this sin is so great here. It's all in the heavens now. The Lord is getting ready to respond. The Lord is getting ready to bring forth that judgment. The Lord is getting ready to destroy this place. The Lord is getting ready to bring those IBCM missiles. The indignation of Yahweh by Hashem Yahushua is fast approaching, man. We're here. Let's read it in the NLT, verse 9. It said, we would have helped her if we could, but nothing can save her now. Let her go. Say, abandon her. Return now to your own land, for your for her punishment reaches to the heavens. Say it is so great it cannot be measured. That's exactly right. This place is, you know what I'm saying, what? It's full of wickedness. You know what I'm saying? And its hurtful works all fulfilled. The Lord's getting ready to what? To bring forth that judgment like we have never seen before. So now let's drop down to verse 12. It says, set up the standard upon the walls of Babylon, make the watch strong, set up the watchmen, prepare the ambushes, for the Lord has both devised and done that which he has spake against the inhabitants of Babylon. So right now, you know, this place is getting ready to be ambushed, you know, by these, you're going to have a lot of them coming over the southern border, these, Russian, China, these UN troops, there are some of them already here, these sleeper cells, a lot of these things are coming upon us at a fast pace. So this right here could kick off a lot of things. It could be like a domino effect. You know, we're seeing that military presence is on the southern border. Things are constantly heating up. The Lord is what? Is setting the ambush, you know what I'm saying, to bring this place down. You know what I'm saying? We cannot wait. We are constantly rejoicing. Verse 13 says, O thou that dwellest upon many waters, abundance in treasures, thy end is come, and the measure of thy covenant. So we seeing right now, America, you know, is at its end. You know what I'm saying? One thing about it, we seeing right now, this place is right now, is the war drums are beating right now, any given day, any time, you know what I'm saying, it could just break out. You know what I'm saying? One thing about it is going to come all of a sudden. A lot of people going to get caught up in what? In that evenness. You know, so we constantly warn you right now, man, it is here, it is at the door. Let's see how it reads in the NLT in verse 13 in the NLT, Jeremiah chapter 51 and 13 in the NLT. It said, you are a city by a great by a great river, say a great center of commerce. Said, but your end has come. Said the threads of your life is cut. So, we already know that this city there's on many waters, you know, we're talking about America. And also we already know that this is the melting pot for these many nations that comes over here, you know, getting that influence, you know what I'm saying? Then, you know what I'm saying, coming over here, you know what I'm saying, and doing the same thing that this whore is doing, you know, following after her. But now they're seeing that this place is finished, and they're leaving this place. They're fleeing out of the midst of America, Babylon the Great. We're seeing it with our own eyes. The Lord is calling these things to happen. Verse 14 said, the Lord of hosts has sworn by himself, saying, surely I will fill thee with men as with caterpillars, and they shall lift up a shout against thee. So one thing about it is exactly what getting ready to happen. This place is getting ready to be filled with what the enemy, you know, like what caterpillars, you know, these people it's going to be swarming. So we already knowing that the Mexican president already had ordered 10,000 now, Mexican Marines to come to the southern border. Come on now. We're not ignorant of Satan's device. These things right now, wars is already popping off left and right. It's going to increase. It's going to constantly escalate. We constantly warning you left and right. The second war has passed, but the third will come quickly. And also we see it right now that we are very close to having this civil war, civil unrest. You know, it's all sorts of death and destruction. You know what I'm saying? America against America. You know what I'm saying? We are here. Let's read it in the NLT, Jeremiah chapter 51 and verse 14. It said, the Lord of heaven's armies has taken this vow and has sworn to it by his own name. So your cities will be filled with enemies like fields of swarming locusts. So that's what's getting ready to happen. It said, and they will shout in triumph over you. So one thing about this place is going to be totally decimated by these UN, Russia, and China troops. So we already knowing that Russia has already warned America about if they go into Mexico, and also China saying they will aid Mexico also. So this thing is getting big. You know, we seeing right now. And also we keeping our eyes on Israel. You know what I'm saying? Israel is the least of the flock. And one thing about that, we knowing that right now war is here. The war drums are beating. And one thing about it, evils are growing all around us as we speak. So now let's go to our last and final script. Let's go here to 2nd Ezra chapter 16. 2nd Ezra chapter 16. We'll start up around verse I think it's 17. Let's start off here in 2nd Ezra chapter 16 And verse 17 said, woe is me, who will deliver me in those days? And woe go into destruction. That's exactly what's getting ready to happen. I'm telling you, it's coming. Verse 18 said, the beginning of sorrows and great mourning, the beginning of famine and great death, the beginning of wars, and the powers shall stand in fear. Said, the beginning of evils, what shall I do when these evils shall come? And one thing about it is what we constantly seeing left and right. Increase what? Sorrows, increase mourning, increase famine. It's going to be what? Increased death. And what? And also what? The beginning of wars, and the powers shall stand in fear. These things are coming left and right. The beginning of these evils. Jacob's trouble, the hour of temptation, World War III. You know what I'm saying? It's going to be a lot of what? Mass death if we have never seen before. The body count is going to be great. Verse 19, behold, famine, plagues, tribulation, and anguish are sent as scourges for amendment. So we constantly seeing these scourges, and one thing about it's time to what? To get your house in order, to get your mind right, because we coming upon these times fast approaching. Verse 20 said, but for all these things they shall not turn from their wickedness, nor be always mindful of the scourge. A lot of people are not turning from their wicked. A lot of people are not aware, not watching the signs of the time. You're gonna get caught up and you're gonna get caught up in all of this chaos very soon. Verse 21 said, behold, victuals shall be good and cheap upon the earth, that they shall think themselves to be in good case, and even then shall evils grow upon the earth. Sword, famine, and great confusion. So that's what we right at, the sword, what I'm saying? That sword also go into judgment, famine, food shortage, rolling blackout, cyber attack, terrorist attack, largest things are coming, and great confusion, the uproars of the people, chaos, looting, rioting, protesting, what I'm saying? Robbing, stealing, and graping. A lot of these things are coming upon us. Verse 22, it said, for many of them that dwell upon the earth shall perish of famine, and the other that escape the hunger shall the sword destroy. So one thing about it, the Lord already said, I come not to bring peace, but a sword. The Lord's getting ready to bring that judgment, And one thing about it, we already know that it is here. It is at the door. We constantly sound like a broken record, but these are the times that we're living in, man. When all of a sudden, it shall come upon you. So now let's go to our last and final script. Let's go here to let's go back to the blue letter, and we'll close out here. Ecclesiastes chapter 9. Let's go to Ecclesiastes chapter 9. We'll close out here. Ecclesiastes chapter 9. One moment. Ecclesiastes chapter 9 and verse 12. We'll close out here. One moment. And it reads, it said, for man also knoweth not his time as the fishes that are taken in an even net. It said, and as the birds that are caught in the snares are a trap, so are the sons of men snared in an evil time when it falleth suddenly upon them. So one thing about it that, these things will fall suddenly upon you very quickly when you're unaware, when you're not redeeming the time wisely. You know what I'm saying? When you're, just going on with your daily life, constantly, getting rocked back to sleep. These things are constantly happening, left and right. This man is constantly dismantling the government. We're seeing right now, we having this military presence on the U.S. and Mexican border. Things are getting ready to escalate. While you're sleeping, once again, the devil is constantly getting busy. The devil is getting ready to come down with great wrath. And all of a sudden, these things will come upon you when they say peace and safety. This man is making willing and dealing, signing away, things left and right. We already know that there's getting ready to be an uproar, of the people very soon. Verse 12, it said, verse 12 in the NLT said, people can never predict when hard times might come. Like fish in a net or birds in a trap, people are caught by sudden tragedy. So that's what's getting ready to happen. Sudden tragedy. Sudden what? Death. Sudden what? Death and destruction is coming upon us at a fast pace. We are living in some pearly time. These evils are constantly growing all around us. But the Lord said, for the elect's sake, those days shall be shortened. So the title of the day lesson, once again, is evils growing. So I'd like to give all praises and honor and glory to Yahweh, Ba'ashem, Yahweh Shai, Ba'ashem, Rekah Kwadash. I'd like to say, Shalom, Shalom.